Hi Linda, how are you? You know, on Facebook I told you to read that little boy story, and then I would be sharing this video with you after you read the little boy story. And the reason I wanted you to read the little boy story first is because it's about my life as a little boy, or as I was growing up at Lincoln School. And you know what Lincoln School is. You used to go there once. I think you said you went there in kindergarten. But as you read in the little boy story, because I wasn't taught anything when I was a little boy by my parents, and because I was always behind the other little boys, as you read in the little boy story, I was always behind my peers or all the other little boys in just about everything. And so it's like other little boys could always do everything better than I could. And they knew about things I didn't know about because their dads taught them. And my dad never taught me about these things, you know? And so the reason I'm making this video is because there's another thing. There's something else that I'm going to be doing with my time. And that is re-educating myself by going all the way from first grade all the way through high school if I have to. You know, it's what I want to do. And the reason I want to do that is because when I went through grade school the first time, or through Lincoln, you might say, I don't think I did as well as I could have had I had different parents. Imagine if I would have had a dad that taught me things like other little boys were having their dads teach them. I may not have, I might have had more confidence myself. I might have tried harder when I was going through first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth, and I actually might have had a better, knowing about more things. I might have had a bigger vocabulary. I just would have been more educated when I came out of 8th grade. And so, but because my parents didn't teach me things, and because I was behind all the other little boys, and because I didn't have confidence in myself, and I wasn't able to catch on to some of these various school subjects. Now I know there was one I caught on to, and that is mathematics, because Purcella, my sister, you know her, Linda, she was 4 years older than me, and when I was in first grade, she used to teach me her 5th grade math, and I don't remember if I caught on to her 5th grade math or not, but what I do know what her 5th grade math did for me is it made my first grade math seem easy. So I really caught on really easy to my first grade math, and then all of a sudden I had confidence in myself because I could do math, and all of a sudden I was above all my peers in math. I was on top of the class all the way through grade school. Now, why do I want to re-educate myself? Because, Linda, I want to have a well-rounded 8th grade education. As if I had different parents who taught me things as I was growing up, who educated me otherwise at home as well as school, so that when I finally made it to 8th grade, and will now, that I will have the best 8th grade, well-rounded 8th grade education I could have had. And then after that, I'm going to be going through high school, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, I want to be my best. I want to be my best. I want to educate myself to be the best that I can be. And that's what I'm going to be doing my time now. In a minute or two, I'm going to go on my computer and click on, some folders that say first grade, and then when we click on first grade, I'm going to click on a folder there that's going to take me to a first grade teacher, where you're going to be able to hear her teaching, and all this stuff. But I'll touch on that when we get to it. But right now, I just want you to know that another thing that I'm going to be into big time now is putting myself all the way through school. You said, Linda, that you thought I was smart or something. Well, no, I'm not smart. I'm not that educated, not really. Yes, I got good grades in Great Commission Bible College because, you know, I've been reading the Bible since 1969. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm not that well educated when it comes to math and English and social studies and science and all that stuff. You know, basic education. You see, I got a bachelor's degree. I've got a GED, high school equivalent, but you know what those two things don't say? They don't say I had algebra. They don't say I had geometry. They don't say I had second algebra and pre-calculus or trigonometry. They don't say I had earth science, biology, chemistry, and physics. They don't say I had any of these things. And someday, after I get myself here and re-educate myself and get myself to have a well-balanced 8th grade education, then I'm going to go to high school, and I'll share a little bit of that with you in a few minutes here. And so, anyway, so eventually I can have a well-rounded high school education with all those subjects under my belt. You know? Okay, I'm going to pause this a little bit, Linda, and then we're going to continue in a few minutes. Okay, Linda, we're back here, and I'm going to be talking to you and showing you more about how I'm going to be going through these courses, starting with 1st grade, and I'm actually going to be showing you some of the teachers that teach some of these classes on the computer, and you're going to be able to see them teaching a little bit. I'm not going to make you go through a whole course, but just, you know, just a minute or two of them. And but before I move on with all that, the first thing I want to do is show you what I got. What I mean by what I got, and books and things like this. And I'm going to show you what I got. And even though, you know, we're starting kind of with 1st grade moving up, through the years all the way up to 8th grade and then maybe high school. I'm going to start with the high school when I show you what I got, work with the high school, and then kind of work back to 1st grade, and then we'll go on from there. So I'm going to come around now, and I'm going to grab the, rock around the couch. You can hear me. You don't see me, but you can hear me. And I'm going to go grab this camcorder, and I'm going to show you a few things here, okay? Now, I'm picking up this here, and I'm moving around the room, and I want you to see those books up there. You see? Now you see the trigonometry, you see the pre-calculus, you see the algebra 2, you see algebra 2, you see geometry, you see geometry again, you see algebra 1, algebra 2, and then if you go up there, you're seeing like American government, United States history, and in 9th grade. Let me zero this back here, pull back, and then I got some more books up there. See, and then I got books down here. Here there's my computer down there. See, Linda, I got books on on every high school subject that you can have. Every high school subject. And not only do I have the books up there, Linda, listen to this, on video, or I should say videos. I got the teacher teaching from those books I got up there. Some of those books I got up there. Especially, you know, for instance, example, I got books on earth science up there. Let's start with science. On 9th grade earth science. I got teachers on video teaching from those books that I got on earth science. And the same with biology, the same with chemistry. I got teachers teaching. I got the books they're teaching with the chemistry and physics. And that goes the same with algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus and trigonometry. I got teachers teaching on all that stuff and the books they're teaching it from. So I can be, when I go through their courses, it's like I can be a student watching them on my computer teach. Well, I can read from the book and study the book that they're teaching from. Now that is what I've got. Now this is all high school subjects. Now, well, what about first grade and second grade and third grade and up until high? See, when I say high school, I count high school as from 9th grade through 12th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. But that's why when I go through Lincoln or when I go through grade school, which I'm going to get into now, I got teachers teaching all them classes too, from first grade all the way on. Now I'm going to show you a few examples right now. But first of all, I'm going to try to put this camcorder back down in place here, so you can see me again. There. Now I'm going to go back around the couch and go back to my computer. Now, I'm going to go in. Now, let me explain something to you. In a normal school year, from September to June, when kids are in school, they will go through 180 days during that year. And that I know for a fact. It's 180 days. And, well, where's the other half year go? Well, you know, there's 52 weeks in a year, and each week has a weekend, and so there's 2 days to a weekend, so you can take 52 weeks times 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and there's 104 days right there. Then from June to September, all summer long, that's another 90 days, and so there's where your other days of the year. But in school, from September to June, you're talking about 180 days. And why am I saying that? Because these teachers I'm teaching here, they teach 180-day school year. So when they're teaching me first grade, you know, they're teaching me the whole year. I literally can go through the whole first grade year, second grade year, third grade year, fourth grade year. You know what I'm saying? And first one I'm going to show you here. Just let me get a chance to get to it, Linda. Okay, school. Grade 1. Grade 1 classes. English. Now, the main subjects that I want to go through and pick up from 1st to 8th grade now will be English, math, social studies, and science. Maybe we'll do that in reverse, science and social studies. But this one here is just going to be and by the way, this gal here that I'm going to show you, she's a Christian, and she starts her sessions out with prayer. But you're going to hear her in just a minute.
Class every single day for the 5 days of the week over the course of the 36
now she's
weeks
teaching first grade English.
Days. And I just wanted to...
That's one teacher. And she's not the only one. Let me show you another one. This one's teaching first grade too.
Today, we are going to be going over some of the sounds that the letters of the alphabet make.
See, she's teaching first grade to these first grade kids.
How we make the shape of the letters in the English alphabet.
And
okay?
I can
so what I want to do
go all the way through first grade with her,
we're going to go through
plus the other one.
Of the alphabet.
And that's not
all.
all.
To follow along.
And that's not all. There's another one going through first grade.
Hello, grade
See,
one.
grade one
Welcome
English,
to
there
this
she is.
English lesson brought to you by Worksheet Cloud. You know by now that my name is Teacher Di, and I love teaching you. It's been so much fun over the last few weeks.
And that's not all. Here's another one. So I'm just showing you.
Hi, I'm Ashley and welcome to Consonant Blends. In this video, you'll learn that when two consonants are read together, they make a blend.
I don't know if you can hear her,
If you haven't
Linda,
learned
but she's...
consonant sounds yet, be sure you go back and watch those videos first.
But anyway, I just wanted to show you, you know, my books and this here. Now, here's the thing, Linda. I know I said earlier that I want to be my best that I can be. And that's basically it, you know. But, you know, this, why do I want a well-rounded grade school education? Why do I want a well-rounded high school education? Well, you know, Linda, this, the University of Maine, you know, I can go, they waive tuition for senior citizens, and I'm a senior citizen, which means I can go online on my computer to the University of Maine and take all their courses tuition free. Now, if they have school books, I may have to pay for the school books, but some of them are digital, you know. But you know, when you're going through college, you know, I've been to college before. When you're going through college, you only take like 3 courses at a time, like, and then 3 months later you start 3 more courses, and then 3 months later you start 3 more courses, and then after about a year you go through about 12 courses, and then after 4 years you've been through 48 courses, and then each course is worth about 3 credits apiece. And so if you take those 40 I'd say maybe 40 courses, and you multiply that by 3 credits, that's 120 credits, and 120 credits earns you a bachelor's degree. So anyway, I can go to college free, but I may have to pay the books, that's it. Now, here's the thing. I've already explained to you that I want a well-rounded 8th grade education. I want a well-rounded high school education. And someday, hopefully, I'm going to want a well-rounded college education. You see, I want a, sure, I'm going for my master's degree right now, but that's all Christian related. That's all religion. That's all, you know. There's no math in there. There's no science in there. There's none of the, see, I want a bachelor degree, college bachelor degree someday, where I have a well-rounded college degree, bachelor degree, which has a little bit of math, a little bit of English, a little bit of history, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and everything else, you see? Well-rounded. But before I can get there, I first have to have a well-rounded 8th grade education so that I can be prepared for high school. And then when I get to high school, then I need to get a well-rounded high school education to prepare me for the University of Maine, or any college for that matter. Now, one thing about when I got all these high school books, and if I were to get a well-rounded 8th grade education, then I all of a sudden read all these high school books, I probably would have a well-rounded high school education, but I wouldn't have credit for it. I couldn't prove it. Another thing I can do online, on the computer online, is it would cost me about $1,000. And when I say $1,000, I'm saying for the whole program, the whole high school program. I can go to online high schools and take all their courses online, 100% online, and take all my examinations online, and I can literally earn an accredited now, one that's accreditable. And I can earn a regular high school diploma. Well-rounded high school education, taking all them courses that I was mentioned before, the earth science, and the biology, and the chemistry, and the physics, and then the math is the algebra 1, and geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus, and trigonometry, and all that stuff. And I can, and I can, you know, have a well-rounded high school education and be accredited, which means they're credible, which means they're just as credible as when you and I went to the brick high school that the one you went to, the one I went to, and when I go to the University of Maine someday, and if I can have that high school transcript transfer them. Not that I can get credit at the university. You can't get credit at a university for high school courses, but here's what high school transcript does for you at the university, in this case the University of Maine. It'll help the counselor at the University of Maine know how well I was prepared in high school. So when I get into the University of Maine and get into college, and I start, you know, taking their college courses, they'll know if I'm prepared well enough to go into them. Because sometimes if they don't think you had enough high school, for instance, before they teach you college algebra, they may want you to have algebra 1, algebra 2 in high school. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't, they might say, well, okay, Jeff, you didn't have algebra 2, you had algebra 1, but we want you to have algebra 2, so we'll teach you algebra 2 here before you go on and with your college algebra. See, sometimes they'll do that. But if you can show them on a transcript that you've already had algebra 1, algebra 2, then they'll let you go right into college algebra. See, it helps them know what you're, how well prepared you are for what you want to take in college. That's what I'm saying, and that's all it does. But they can't give you credit for algebra 1 and algebra 2. They can't give you credit for any high school course because college credits are different than high school credits. But at least the high school transcript and high school credits will tell them how well you're prepared for college, and that's what it does. So when I get that 8th grade education and then go through a lot of my high school books, so I'm already, you know, almost has a high school education, then I might spend that $1,000 and you know and go on to a high school on the internet and take all their courses and then eventually earn a credit high school. But believe that when you see it. I'm not predicting none of this. I'm saying, you know, it's just would be nice, and I have to start someplace, and I'm starting with 1st grade, and that's what I'm saying, and I'm going to go all the way to 8th grade, so by the time I get to high school, I'm as well educated in 8th grade as I possibly can be, and as well prepared for high school as I can possibly be. And then when I go through all this high school, read my books here, and then if I do go to an online high school where I get credit for my high school subjects then and my high school diploma, and then I can be the best I can be to be prepared for the University of Maine. Where then in my first 2 year in college, I probably in general studies, which means, you know, I want my college degree someday to be in, you know, well-rounded in general, you know, a little of this, a little bit of that. And another thing interesting about the University of Maine, when I go to study for my bachelor degree there, if I make it that far someday, believe all this I'm saying here when you see it, Linda. I mean, you know, this is going to be a lot of work stacked on top of all I'm doing with the Christian stuff that you already know about. So when I go for my bachelor degree, they'll let me design my own bachelor degree. And they will put on there, and if I earn that bachelor degree, they will put on there what I tell them to put on there, which means if I want to be in a bachelor degree in general, you know, in a well-rounded bachelor degree in general education, there you go, I could say general education. and I can pick my own courses. Now there are some courses that they're going to expect you to take. They're going to demand you take. You have to take those courses, but most of the courses, I'm going to be able to design my own bachelor degree. What I'm trying to say here, I take my own courses, and I can say general education. That's what I want my bachelor degree to say, general education. Now let's take a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and so when I earn my bachelor degree, it will be a general education, and so that is what I'm also doing on top of all the Christian stuff I told you about online. I thought I would share you. And why am I doing all this, Linda? Linda, let's go back to the stuff I share with you online, all the Christian colleges and all the Christian courses and with all these different people I'm going through the Bible with. That's something you might say I do for the Lord, or I do for other people, trying to encourage them to accept the Lord. That's for other people. That's for the Jesus. That's for God. That's what I've been talking to you now, though, going all the way through grade school and high school and someday a general education, if I can make it in the University of Maine. And believe all this when you see it. I mean, I'm not predicting nothing. This is what my hopes are. It's all for me. To go from first grade through 8th grade and get an 8th grade well-rounded 8th grade education, that's for me. To get a well-rounded high school diploma, or high school education, that's for me. And to get that general general studies 2-year associate degree, that's for me. To get that bachelor degree, whether it's Christian or general education or what, that's for me. All the Christian stuff, though, that you already know about, that's for the Lord. That's for people. I do that for everyone else. When I'm talking to you now, that's for me because I want to feel good about myself. You responded to some of my emails like I was some smart genius or something. No, I'm not no smartness genius. In fact, I don't have the grade school or the high school education I wish I had. And yes, I know a thing or two, but not like I would like to know. And so I want a well-rounded grade school education is what I'm saying, 8th grade in this case. And why? Because most of your online high schools, they start with 9th grade. So, to me, grade school or elementary school will be 8th grade. And then when I start high school, I start with 9th grade if I go online. And again, that's for me. Believe it when you see it. And and that's all I want to say to you, Linda. And as far as that little boy story, I went through a lot of stuff when I was in grade school, when I was at Lincoln. Let's call it Lincoln because I know you know what Lincoln School is. And when I went through Lincoln, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't master most Lincoln classes or courses, I should say, or subjects. I guess in elementary school, it's subjects. I didn't master science. I was dumb and I wasn't all that smart in English. But I already told you I was good in math because of Priscilla. You already know about that. But social studies, forget it. You know what I mean? I remember when they first started teaching me social studies in 6th grade. And you know what? Now they're teaching social studies in kindergarten. And I didn't start learning until 6th grade. Ain't that something? When I was at Lincoln. But anyway, I didn't have that well-rounded 8th grade education because like I say, my parents never taught me nothing, and I didn't know what the other boys was, and I was ridiculed, mocked, and everything else. Let me just give you an example, and then I'm gonna shut this thing off. I remember when I was a kid, my dad bought me a pair of saddle shoes. You know them black and white shoes? And you know, I guess it's because he bought those for me because that's what they wore when he was a kid. But you know, when I went to school at Lincoln, no kid wore saddle shoes. And so the minute I walked into school with them saddle shoes that my dad made me wear, the first thing the kids would say, "Hey, look at the weird shoes on the weirdo." Say they like it, and I'm not saying every kid there call me weirdo. I had a few friends, but you know, some of the bullies, some of these kids at school, you know, that are bullies and things like that, and I was ridiculed when I went through Lincoln. I was ridiculed, mocked, and it all started really in first grade. I remember in first grade, our beginning in first grade. I went all the way through my childhood and I couldn't read out of my left eye, and they all thought I had a lazy eye. But then when I was an adult, a professional eye doctor examined. She said, "You didn't have a lazy eye." She says, "What you got is a scar in your left eye. The reason you can't see out of your left eye is you got a scar in front of it. Your eye was injured." Well, see, okay, my eye was injured when I was a kid, and when I was in first grade, there was this bully kid who hit me with a great big chunk of ice snow like this, and he hit me right in the eye, and I think that's how that happened. And it all started there. And you see, I couldn't do some of the things that other boys, like I said in the little boy story, when they had to start playing softball at Lincoln, all the other boys knew how to play already. They all could hit the ball. They all could know how to catch and run around the bases. I didn't even know what the bases were or what their bases were for. I didn't know what a first base was, a second base, because my father never taught me nothing. And so I was laughed at, mocked, ridiculed, and I got that title, you know, that they thought I was strange because I didn't know what they did. And so I guess I did seem a little bit weird to them. And so with them saddle shoes again, look at the weird shoes on the weirdo. And the bullies is what they call me. Not every kid. I had friends in Lincoln too. And I could say more, but it would take about 3 hours, and I think you've heard enough. And I just wanted you to know what else I'm up to. But this time, when I'm going through school, through 8th grade, and then hopefully high school, and then hopefully through college at the University of Maine, that's for me. But all the Christian stuff, Great Commission Bible College, that master's degree, all that other stuff I'm going through, that's for the Lord. Okay, Linda, I'm going to come shut this off and see if I can't get it to you. Whoops, I almost forgot, Linda. I guess you're looking at her. That's my wife, Carol. Say hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
And she's precious. That's my precious wife, and Linda, I wouldn't trade her for any woman in this world. She's the most wonderful wife I ever could have had. You know, she's very down to earth, very sweet, and she's intelligent too. I learned a lot of stuff from her. You know what I'm saying? You think I know something or two about the Bible or stuff? Carol is just as educated as I have ever been, and maybe more so. So, anyway, that's my precious wife, Carol. And, you know, I can't say enough about her, Linda. I just say hello again. Say hello again, Linda.
Hello, Linda.
Yeah. And anyway, I just wanted you to meet or see my wife, Carol. Okay? Okay. Now, this is really going to be goodbye, Linda. So, I'll see you again. Until the next video, whenever that'll be someday, have a good day.